Hi, I'm Kevin Finch, director of Westbound, the genius of Wes Montgomery, and today we're going to take you behind the scenes in the making of the film. We were at a cemetery in Indianapolis where Wes Montgomery is buried, and we were going to be doing an interview with his son, Robert Montgomery. We had set up some gear and hadn't really started yet, and in the distance, I see this couple and they're picking their way through the graves, the markers. They're checking and they're looking for a name, and they just keep coming closer and closer to us, to where our crew is. And I thought, well, who are you looking for, and what is this about? And sure enough, it was a Wes Montgomery fan who had come to pay tribute to his hero. But what makes it more interesting is he wasn't somebody who was old enough to remember Wes, to have seen him in concert, to have played with him. This is a young man who'd been in college in a music school environment and had come over from Cincinnati for a rock and roll concert and then made a pilgrimage to Wes Montgomery's graveside in an Indianapolis cemetery. Amazing story. And then when we start talking to the guy, his name's Elias, and boy, does he know his hero. He really knows music. He's articulating exactly why it is that he's such a fan of Wes and explains in great musical detail what attracted to him. He came at Wes Montgomery from Jimi Hendrix, and he explains how Jimi Hendrix got things from Wes Montgomery. So take a look at this.
I was at Dead & Company was at Deer Creek, now Ruoff Mortgage Center, last night, and I knew that Wes was from Indianapolis, and I knew that he was buried close, so I said, well, we should stop by before we head back to Cincinnati.
So, that's going to a little bit of trouble.
Right.
That's not just, a lot of fans go, oh, he's from Indianapolis, and then you guys would keep driving. You didn't just keep driving, you stopped and you wanted to see this. What brought you here? Why did you want to see it?
I think it's the closest you can really be to someone that's no longer here. It was really a choice between going to his house, which I know is a little bit north, or coming here. Like, well, we're headed south anyway, and I think it's probably a little bit more fitting to see him at his final resting place. So,
what do you like about him? I mean, you're a little bit younger than the average person who was still alive when he was alive.
Moving block chords, which I found out about because of Hendrix, the sliding chord progression that he does in Little Wing. I was like, what was this inspired by? And lo and behold, a lot of people cite Wes Montgomery as being responsible for that, preserving the shape but still moving it throughout. So that was really the first thing that I found out about. And then I kind of did a bit more of a deeper dive into his discography.
Which is pretty extensive.
It is, yeah. I know there are some, critics that, point out his cover of Day in the Life, but I think all of the stuff that he does is good.
What do you mean by critics?
Some people said, he was trying to sell more records by doing popular tunes, but at the same time, I mean, it still has his same flair, his same signature. Jeff Beck does similar things, and he doesn't face the same critique. So I think it was just because of the fact that at that era, he was more willing to make that bridge to the popular sound than other people were. So, that's kind of representative of the fact that he was already bridging divides,
And he was.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And there are a lot of people who, it was the next year, 69, I think, that Thrill Is Gone came out from B.B. King, also using a string orchestra.
Right.
And B.B. got some grief from the hardcore blues people.
He did, yeah. But you have to. That's the only way to push it forward, is by doing things that are going to upset a couple of people in music. His playing style in and of itself, you can recognize it within a second, primarily because of his thumb technique of just using that fleshy underside and hitting it that way, hitting the strings that way.
So, don't you think it's a little ironic then? What did you see on the gravestone? What was placed down there?
A guitar pick, right? Which is hilarious because, sorry guys, but he didn't use one. But then again, it's like, what else are you going to leave as, a sort of token or homage? So Sadly, I didn't have any picks, but I was like, at the same time, should I be leaving a pick anyway? So
I was just curious. You know, obviously Paris has Morrison and
Morrison, they moved that.
oh, that's true.
yeah,
But you made a pilgrimage here, and this is, and we happen to be here. This is almost like kismet, you know,
yeah.
cosmic alignment. Why is this so important? I know Kevin asked it once before, but this is a completion for you, or what is it?
I mean, I think in a lot of ways, what Coltrane is to saxophone, Wes is to guitar. And I'm a guitarist, so you kind of feel, I just felt compelled. Just felt compelled to visit. Yeah.
Thanks to our crew that day, Jim Hall, co-producer, photographer, editor, Benji Rose, who was running our drone that day and helping out a great deal. It was a good day, and it got better with this sort of accidental interview, this accidental meeting. And soon after that was done, Robert came and we did the rest of the scheduled shoot. So a little behind the scenes of what it was like making Westbound, the genius of Wes Montgomery. This is Further Westbound, where we're telling stories that did not make it into the film. And if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button. Thanks.